used to fist fight goats when I was a kid.
Did you win?
No, I was just a little child. They whooped my ass, dude.
No, I was very small. 0-4 at the petting zoo.
Yeah, well, my parents had goats and stuff, and it would feel like I would have to walk this field every single day to be able to get from my house to my grandparents' house so they could watch me because my parents worked. And there were goats in the field, and they fucking attacked me every single day. And they were really mean. But at a certain point, it was like a game for me where I would like physically fight back against these demons that they didn't care. They were just like fucking with me. Yeah. And I was like maybe 5 to 7. So before I probably weighed 45, 55 pounds, somewhere in there. So I was like a little tiny guy, whatever the average weight is. Maybe that's low. I don't know, whatever. But I like fully remember fist fighting goats and like actually trying to like get them off of me and like hitting them and then feeling like my hits didn't do anything and they just didn't care. So
yeah,
goat is a formidable foe. My grandparents on their farm had a hog that lived in a coop or a pen, I guess, adjacent to the chickens. And every time I'd go in there, this fucking hog would chase me. And I was like 5 years old, 6 years old. Dude. And so it was like way closer to eye height than like it is for adult me. And so I was terrified of this hog. Looking back, my grandpa was like, Taylor, get in there with that hog. No, he's not going to chase you. Get in there. And then I get in there and I'm like, running from this hog. And I hated the hog. And then eventually I came down and they had butchered it and killed it and told me I was eating that hog. And I got a sense of victory, a sense of winning.
You were excited. You were validated.
I was excited. Yeah. They killed the hog that chased and bullied me and we ate it. And they also killed the rooster that would chase and bully my younger brother. And we ate him as well.
Damn.
That's what you fucking get.
Yeah, you
country
fuckers.
Justice.
Yeah, that's country justice.
I used to raise a bunch of animals for 4-H, and my sister is very emotional and very like just a normal girl, a normal young girl. And she had all these animals and she took care of them and stuff and then named them and then she bonded with them and then they would get slaughtered. And my dad, who is just like a old country boy, I would help him slaughter them. And the lambs, the lamb is delicious. Like I love lamb. Lamb is amazing. It's very, very, very good. And he would always make like pastas and things like that and bolognese, all this really good food. And he's such a great cook. And my sister, she never really asked about any of that stuff, but we would eat the animals that we raised. And my sister was like, "This is so good." One night, "This is so good." And my dad was like, "Yeah, that's Edgar." And that was her lamb.
Oh, God,
she was recently slaughtered. And she like obviously lost her mind, was like just stricken with grief. And my parents say that she ended up finishing the meal. Like she didn't like she kind of got over it, but I don't believe that. I don't remember it like that.
You think your father knew what he was doing, or did he just not expect somebody to be attached to a lamb?
I think that he sort of playfully knew what he was doing, but I definitely don't think he expected the reaction that he was given, for sure.
He playfully knew. That's Caleb.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. My dad's a little bit of a bastard, for sure. Yeah. He's a trickster.
Woody's the only person who ever killed and ate one of my pets.
Really?
Yeah. Henrietta.
Yeah. He bludgeoned it.
Eventually,
out there in the forest. Eventually, yeah.
R.I.P. More of like a Hostel 2 kind of way to kill a chicken.
That chicken did 9/11. Like there was a fucking war criminal or something.
He had that chicken sitting on a seatless chair, whipping it on the underside, like
giving him that James Bond treatment where you hit him with that knotted rope in the balls. It was just
Caleb, do you know this background already? Are you familiar with this
I do not.
We went on this survival trip and we didn't bring any food. We just brought like some hammocks and some weapons. And the idea was we were going to catch food along the way. But as an ace in the hole, we did bring a live chicken. And the chicken was always intended to be dinner, like, few days deep into the trip so that, like if we were struggling, it would be a little pick me up along the way.
That's the thing to do on video.
And it's the thing to do. But unlike Kyle, I've never gone hunting. So this whole like experience of killing your own food and cooking it and eating it was new to me, a thing that I wanted to have lived through. And so Kyle held the chicken down, but when he did it, he put like a limb, a big stick over its neck to protect his own hands from my inaccurate machete swings.
Right.
Because of that, really, well, there was maybe a half inch that was still it was really a lot of shoulder that I hit. I didn't have the clean shot at the neck that I would have without the log there. And anyway, it took, I don't want to exaggerate, but to remove the head, would you call it 4 blows?
At one point, the chicken
Wow.
went,
That's awesome.
4 blows. You can just pull a chicken's head off. Like
I was going to say,
if you hit the stick first.
You gotta hit the neck.
You can literally just pull a chicken's head clean off. Yeah.
I didn't know
Everybody else in the campsite, I just want to interject. We were like, hey, that's our friend. She's been keeping the bugs away.
That's true. Yeah. She's been cleaning the campsite of ladybugs.
You know how like a pet will like bed down sort of next to you and like she did that. She'd like she stayed with us. She didn't wander off and become a wild chicken.
We brought a cardboard box in that she stayed in so that she like couldn't get away. But she would just hop out of the cardboard box and be part of the group.
Briefly, yeah.
Until Thursday.
Yeah, she was the mascot. I don't know. I felt bad, I guess. I guess I still do a little.
Isn't that part of hunting?
No. You usually don't befriend the deer.
Where you hold the deer down and you repeatedly make blow after blow.
See, Kyle's an experienced hunter, but I heard Chris Pratt, as maybe a newer hunter, describe how when he killed the deer and he was like, that thing was just alive and now it's dead because of me, but I'm eating it and that's the circle of life. But it's something he had to like get used to. And I wanted to live that.
Yeah, I started hunting so young that I was too young to even really grasp fully what was going on. So I was just used to it. I didn't really think of them as fellow creatures that could be like my friend if given the chance or anything, or that, I don't care what they're thinking about or how their breakfast was. It was like, I really want to get another one. Like this is a game that we play where as many got to catch them all kind of thing. And I always wanted a big buck that I could mount. So it was all day, every day, just killing those things. I never really felt bad.
Skill to getting the right buck? Like,
oh, so much. Well, I mean, all right. So a big part of it is
like, because the trophy is dependent on how many antlers or points the antler has, or
there's
whatever.
A complex scoring mechanism used to gauge how good the rack is.
But it seems to me they're all the same difficulty to hit, and I don't know why one's a bigger trophy than the other.
Okay, so the male whitetail is seemingly by nature more wily and solitary at times. So he's not always with that group moving to your food plot. You sort of position yourself between where they bed down and where they eat, or vice versa, dusk to dawn. And the male deer, if he has lived long enough to have a big rack that you would see as a prize trophy, he's probably 5 to 8 years old, somewhere in that sweet spot. And so he has proven himself to be a wily deer, because presumably you're in deer hunting territory. He has outlived the dumb bucks that didn't mind leaving the bed down area when it was still a little bit light. The ones that didn't mind lingering a little too long at dawn in a field so that they could be. This is the guy who likes it dark before he moves.
Yeah,
might be for whatever reason. He's sneaky. He just is.
Yep.
Maybe he's got a better sense of wariness. Maybe he's just paranoid. Paranoia would help as a trait in the wild, He's always like, they're out there looking for me. Yeah, we are. We are out there. It could be any
I think it's like competition too. Yeah, because it's like they fight too, and then like you'll find a dead buck occasionally that just died from exhaustion because they just fuck and fight so hard for a few weeks. They don't have routines. They'll run all night long, just trying to have sex with as many does as they possibly can. They're just crazed by testosterone for like a month, basically.
That's called the rut when they go into their breeding cycle and the females are in heat. And during that short period, he said it could be a month. I don't really know. But they're not as wily anymore. They've got pussy on their minds, and you'll see them. One of the biggest bucks I ever shot, I was on my back porch, and he was chasing a doe in the middle of the day. It was bright, sunny daytime, and he's in the middle of our field, tongue hanging out because he's been foaming at the mouth because he's been running himself ragged probably all fucking night chasing
We've
this girl.
all been there.
And I'm sprinting with my rifle and like do like a baseball slide and like get into position and shoot his ass like 250 yards away and dropped him like where he was because he was about to like get his breath back and go back in those because the girl had ran all the way across the field and then hopped a fence and went in the woods, and he had stopped, been like, fence. Like he was so tired. So during that period, you can give them the skill. So the thing about it is, if you watch like the TV shows where they hunt deer and stuff like that, or if they're trying to pimp a product as a professional, and they go out to like Kansas and Texas and places like that where they might have a fenced in area and there's different levels of it. I wouldn't just say that any hunting like that isn't real hunting or anything like that. There is some stuff. I knew guys who made YouTube videos of hunting, and they would put animals in pens, and then like they've got him there. Now they climb the tree and they make their shot. They got their YouTube video of shooting a big hog with a bow. Why wait out in the woods all day when you got one you caught in a trap the night before? You just throw in the pen and fake this thing. And then but when I would see the quality of bucks and the regularity that these hunters see these deer like I've never seen. And again, for years, I went day and night hunting over 1,000+ acre cornfields. I ain't never seen nothing like what these guys are seeing in every single episode. So I don't know. It just depends where you're hunting. Different parts of the country have bigger deer too, but I never killed like a trophy buck.
Because so I've been hiking on the East Coast and the West Coast, and the views on the West Coast are really cool. The trees get less dense. On the East Coast, it seems like you hardly see far because the trees are all over the place.
Yeah, Kansas, Illinois, Indiana.
It seems like if you're a good shot, if you're that guy who can hit things from hundreds of yards away, you can see hundreds of yards. On the East Coast, it's rare I see that far.
We would hunt over, like I said, big cornfields. So you could, 700 yards down to one corner and maybe 300 yards down to the corner to the right and 400 or 500 and really try to cover as much space and be a bit of a lighthouse as we could. Yeah. And then I would hunt in this spot. And even though I wasn't old enough, my dad would drive down the road and he'd hunt on another spot. And he just knew to come running when he heard a gunshot because I needed him no matter what happened. And but we would also hunt over where they cut through the trees to put power lines in, the big power lines. They cut a swath, that's kept clear. And you can hunt over that thing. And if you've got known distances, so you can quickly get your dope or whatever, you can shoot a 1,000-yard shot on a deer like no sweat if you know where to aim. I mean, it's not hard. It's
every so often hunters shoot each other. Is that like extreme incompetence?
Yeah, that's extreme incompetence.
Anybody can hunt.
In dove fields, it can be more common. Like the Dick Cheney thing was probably quail, which is a similar thing. When you're shooting low-flying birds in a group, shit happens, frankly. I've never peppered anybody, but I've been peppered, and I didn't think hey, come on. So it's not the end of the world.
It's impolite.
Exactly. That's people yell low bird, and that's what they mean.
Dick Cheney fucked that guy up.
Low bird means don't shoot, not I see one, go get it.
No, you're supposed to ideally, like with doves and whatnot, like let them get a little bit, like let a little sporting, let them, get their swarm up there. Like you're not supposed to be like, oh, he's 6 feet in the air, blast him.
That's like quail. I don't know what's sporting with quail, but I would shoot as soon as possible, as soon as I could.
I'll tell you, I got a little personal experience with quail. About 1 week ago, I got 100 quail. And now I've got 4. Dude, quail have an 85% mortality rate. All right.
Oh, you're raising these quail?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you meant about 101.
Oh, no.
I was like, you want a rampage.
Why bother? They just die anyway in the front yard.
They have an 85% mortality rate in the first year of life. And when I got them, I was like, all right, I'll be able to take them. I'll be able to take care of them. Got my little setup. Seems like when they get shipped from wherever to wherever I am, their mortality rate goes up to about 96%.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
Were you trying to raise them for meat, or are you using them for like bird dog competitions?
No, I guess just a part of the homestead type thing. So I guess meat and eggs.
Quail. Oh, okay.
Yes, I want resident bobwhite quail, and they were so adorable. And I got them, and I was like, man, these things are so cool. And then they started dying, and I was like, all right, you just put them in a little trash bag. Can. They're about like the size of a bug. They're pretty small.
Oh, I pictured.
Yeah, they're very small
birds. Okay.
No, so I have 4 now. And they are doing fine. They've doubled in size in about a week. And so now they have an 85% mortality rate, I assume, because they're about 3 weeks old.
You're on your way to 1. If you're lucky.
Are up 3/4,
yeah. Like reinforcements on the way, like to backfill this little genocide you're doing.
I wasn't sure if I should. You can only order them like once every couple months because they.
Okay, honestly, you got 100 last month.
Yeah,
what happened to those?
Yeah, exactly.
99 more.
I felt so bad. I was like, man, this is not normal. And then you look it up and it's like, oh, that's normal. That they just die. They fucking die. They're weak. Their hearts are fucked up, and they're probably like breeding quail, so they're even more genetically kind of fucked because they're you know, they're
like the British royal family.
You know, I don't know what bobtail. You said bobtail quail?
Bobwhite quail.
Bobwhite quail. I don't know what kind of quail my buddies raised, but they do bird dog trials, which if you don't know is like they hide the birds in the field and then they run their dog through a very regimented thing. They keep score with judges and stuff, and it's a sport for them. And I didn't think maybe they're doing different kinds of quail, because like it seemed like no sweat. They just had them in a pen out there, and they always had a lot of them. And these weren't the guys to be like monitoring these animals. That, you know, they were drunk raising quail in a big. A big thing.
Yeah, it's like when they're babies, they're very like. I mean, these things they came in a box this big, and there was 100 of them.
Kyle, you're saying a bunch of drunks had a much higher survival rate?
I think they had different birds or different quality of
Chucker,
birds.
maybe.
Yeah. I mean, they were good old boys. You know, all
good old boy.
Electricians and farmers and contractors and such. They're not occurring to me right now. We're having like a little backyard patio party right now down there that I'm loving, that I'm not part of. And I had a beer while I was out there.
The show and you're entertaining.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, I get so. If only I could be here with you.
I gotta work.
Yeah,
no one's gonna do Indian guy for 4 hours. If
there's this. I was out there and there were some crows flying by, and I was like, I could call those crows. I was like, I used to hunt those things. I'm a bit of a beast master. And my buddy went, nah, no way. I'm like, watch this. I'm like, and I called the crow. I did like a crow distress call, which is a real thing. They're swooping around out there like a Hitchcock movie. It's hilarious. I'm not joking. There's 30 fucking crows out there losing their minds over this little group.
You went to the party for 40 seconds and ruined it.
I wonder what you said to them.
Help.
If they're like fire or something.
It's help. So you play that call, and usually the call is mixed in with an owl or a hawk, so it sounds like a crow's getting beaten up by an owl or a hawk, and the owl or hawk is this like screeching sort of noise. I didn't do that, but I did the sad crow noise, and they hate it. They're so smart that now I regret all the hunting of them I did when I was younger. Like I feel like I was just shooting parrots out there that had lives and thoughts and ideas.
Pies and ravens and crows. They're fucking smart and weird.
Yeah, they're shockingly smart. I see those little TikToks or YouTube videos of them doing really complex stuff. You know, displacing water.
Yeah, octopoids.
Yeah. Cephalopods don't even live that long either. Like they got those short little. Yeah, isn't that fucked?
Yeah, it is. And I wonder. When you live a longer life, you can get smarter and smarter as you gather more wisdom and knowledge. The fact that they do so well in 18 months, like what would a hypothetical 9-year-old octopi know? Octopus. No.
Everything.
I had one already.
Since we've done the podcast, I've acquired 3 more.
What?
Yeah, I now have a Highland bull and 2 zebus.
Wait, you got any photos of
that
these
last
that you
one
could
again?
share with
What
us?
is it called?
Let me see.
Zebu.
I actually don't think I had 2 Highland calves that I had last time. I don't know if I don't really take pictures. I'm like super weird with my phone.
How much do they cost?
Oh, yep. I actually do have a picture of the zebu, the mom.
Zach, it's ZEBU. Can you
Yeah,
find one?
zebu. See.
Oh, I can see. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, that's the cow's face off the fancy milk I buy.
Yep. They're really small. The full grown ones are like 400 pounds. They're really small. And then the bull is a.
Look at that guy.
Yeah.
Is
Look
that
at the nutsack
African?
on that thing.
Look at
I
that
believe they're like
nutsack.
African, Asian.
I mean, oh man, can't evolution do better than nutsack?
Oh, is that the
really
one
wanna
that they
fuck
chop
in.
the head off on Apocalypse Now with the machete?
Maybe.
Oh yeah. You ever seen that, Taylor? Apocalypse Now, where they kill the bull? They do it for real toward the end of Apocalypse Now with a machete.
I have not
doing like
seen that movie. No.
so.
So understandably, it probably took like 15, 20 hacks.
Dude, it was just like Henrietta. They are hacking through this. They go
See?
like spine down, hacking until it's 3 good whacks, and they take a full-grown bull's head off though with a machete or maybe even a sword. It's been a while. It's a rough.
There's the bull too.
Can you full screen Caleb?
Oh, that's a little guy. Look at him.
And then the bull's behind him there.
Oh, that's a big boy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
How much does a calf cost?
The mama and the calf were 1,000, and
That's like regular cow prices.
it was at an auction, and the bull was 1,200, and I was supposed to get a cow, Highland cow that was pregnant. I wanted a Highland cow that was pregnant, but she ended up going for like $3,800, and I was like, I'm not fucking paying that much. So I got a little zebu because nobody wants a zebu. They're like little useless, adorable little yard ornaments.
Yeah, you just wanted a friend.
I just want a little buddy. All right,
You got enough room for one of those. What? You could get a couple Highland cows over
Get
there.
you a zebu.
I don't have a
Which is
grass
even-
fence, and if I did have a proper fence, it would make mowing even harder.
That's fair.
True.
That's fair.
I'll grow you one. You can have one of my calves.
That sounds fun.
I know for a fact.
He'd slaughter it, and you'd be like, how's little birdie doing? Woody's like, man, it packed out good. I'm talking 80 pounds of beef.
Yeah. I didn't know it was going to be fat. I had to kill it as soon as I got home.
Ew. Woody only wants those like Belgian blue jacked cows.
Yeah.
He gave me a fat cow.
Yeah, I like those cows that are just full of muscle. Every cow should be those cows.
Oh,
I love
jacked
cows.
up
They're
with a
so cute.
pituitary problem.
They're too sweet. Like that. If you know any cows, then you should feel a little guilty about eating beef.
They're so cute. Sweet.
Gotta not think about it.
And their tongues are like that long. Their tongues shoot out of their mouths.
That's what they
When
said in
they're
Nuremberg.
babies, they suck your thumb.
Yeah, they're really weird.
I did not think about it.
The Nuremberger trials.
Yeah, Nuremberg trials.
But yeah, the zebu's cool though. I love her. Her name's Gertrude.
That's I know there's this
It's a good name for a cow.
There's an old sci-fi show called Sequest, and it's in the future, and beef has been outlawed. It's like crime to possess beef because agriculture has been sort of outlawed because the flatulence and the burps from the cows were such an issue for the ozone. I guess that's the future we foresaw in 1993 or whenever this show was out. But there's a show where the guy he's got one. He's cooking up a burger like in his quarters, and the chief comes along and catches it. He's like, "Is that a real hamburger? Get that contraband. Get the hell out of here. I ought to send you to the brig." He goes to throw it in the trash, and he's like, "Oh yeah!" And he throws the rest of it away, and it's like, God,
That's
I hope
cool.
that's not the real future.